Yeah, you already know what that sounds means, baby. We back and we talking another episode of Moon Knight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me here. This is, of course, my boy Ed. Ed, how you doing tonight, baby?
One more day left in this fucking work week, dude.
I hear you, man. But Thursday nights always mean we talking Moon Knight. Give everybody a chance to check out the episode yesterday. I got the music pumping. I'm hyped, man. I honestly believe this might be the best Marvel show so far. So how you feel about it? I know this is like one of your favorite characters, so it's kind of
Favorite.
biased,
One of the best all time. But 4 episodes in, and I'm like, I'm sad, bro. We're coming to the end. It's fucking driving me crazy. That
I know we got 2 weeks left though, and the best is yet to come. That's what they say. So, but all right, so let's get straight to it. This 4th episode, this is what we're discussing. So if you haven't checked it out, please go check it out and come back and watch this video. But the 4th episode was called The Tomb, and of course, it starts exactly where we left off, where they encased Khonshu into that little statue. And they put his ass on that little where you could see there's all the statues there. So there's definitely going to be a lot other stuff going on. Maybe they're going to tap into who are those other statues. Who knows? Who not? Maybe not. But that's where it starts off, and then it cuts right back after the credits. That we're back where we are, and basically, Steven or Mark is knocked out, and Layla has to spring into action. So I'm gonna put this one photo up. It's got a lot of shit going on in it, but I think it's an awesome picture. So let's put this bad boy up there. This is the first picture that I was talking about in the top left corner, where you see all the different statues of other gods that the top gods have either encased or enclosed or tried to put them away. There's a lot of other shit going on in this, so we'll kind of get to them as we go along. But they kind of jump a little too far ahead, so we're gonna just remove that for a second and keep talking. So how did you feel about when you saw Layla kind of dragging Mark's body through the desert? She kind of does some wild and crazy shit to like roll him down while they're trying to shoot at her. And then
all those
she
scenes,
does that old like fucking throws the flare into the car, and the car kind of blows up and knocks all 3 of the people out.
Just more and more evidence of why Khonshu wants her. She's a
Hell
badass.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man!
Ass and doesn't stop kicking it.
Yeah, and basically after she blows it up, Steven comes too. So basically they hop in the car and they start driving, and this is where they kind of get deep into it. And again, I'm loving the kind of psychological triangle of love that they got going on with Steven is trying to make moves, and Mark's like, "Don't you tell us shit, man," And Layla is like, she I think she gets the fact that there's 2 different personalities working here at this point. But he starts like basically giving her like why Mark doesn't want to tell her anything, and I believe it's in the car or no, right before they're about to enter the spot that he drops the secret that Khonshu wants her as his avatar, and
well, she tries to kiss him.
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, and Mark's pissed, like, yo, don't you fucking kiss her? Don't you try nothing? Yeah. He makes him punch him in the face right before, which was a great scene. But like, all right, so before they got to that part, right, they get to where the dig site for Amit is, and they're like, they're going through the stuff, and there was a part that I saw that I thought was interesting. You remember how it like panned over what looked like somebody had used something to knock somebody out. So I wasn't under the impression that whether it was just what they did before they went in, or if it was like Layla did it, and they're just trying to show you like Layla's down to like do whatever she got to do, even get her hands dirty, kind of showing what's going to happen later in the episode.
Yeah, I reserved any thought to it. My wife caught it. She was like, the hell is that thing? It kind of looked like one of those batons that Steven pulled out when he was in the Mr. Knight costume, but
it had more of like a little hook to it. So I thought maybe
So it could have just kind of alluded to what was going on inside the tomb with that mummy doing its own mummification.
Exactly. That's what I kind of thought they were hinting at. But when I watched it a second time, I thought, oh, maybe that was like them showing her kind of, doing the buck wild. She was just ready to take anybody out, whoever's stopping them in their way. But then they get to this part. This is the part where he like wants to kiss her, and for some reason he spits out that Khonshu wants her as the Avatar, and it kind of throws her back. But he still ends up kissing her, and then Mark punches himself in the face after she goes flying in the hole, and he kind of like tumbles back down after her. So that was a pretty awesome scene. I mean, I'm Isaac. Oscar Isaac is definitely doing a fantastic job. I mean, he has a couple of highlights of Layla. She's got a lot of highlights in this episode. But they're really setting her up to be a badass. This is basically like Layla's episode. She's definitely fucking ballsy the whole way through, right?
Right. Yeah, she's everything that Khonshu definitely wants in a soldier. Bugged me out that her origin story is tied in with her dad. Her dad was the guy, and not, of course, that the story is similar, but in the comic, it wasn't her father. You know what I'm saying?
It was like his partner who double crosses him. Yeah.
Right. And the whole Bushman narrative. But I thought they would dive into it.
I think they're kind of, they're reserving. They use bits and pieces of the origin to fit the story, but I think it's dope so far the way they're doing it. What up, Terry? So after they go into the cave, then they start talking about where they're trying to figure out how to get through the tunnel system that they have in there. And he figures out it's the symbol of, I believe it's Horus, right?
The Eye of Horus, yeah.
Yeah, so through that, they kind of figure out which way they have to go. Then they get to the one section where they realize that somebody's been literally chopped up. There's bits and pieces and blood all over the place. So they have a funny part where, once they see the blood dragging off into the corner, he's like, nah, let's not go that way, which is great because that's exactly what anybody would do. And he's like, oh, I'll go look up there or whatever. And then, of course, as soon as he gets up there, that's why, this all of a sudden, they hear some noise, gunshots going on. And did you notice who it was that they dragged on the table there?
Go ahead, tell me.
I was saying, it wasn't just some random Joe Schmo. That was one of the two security guards or fake cops that took him. That was the bigger guy. Which you see him later in the episode as one of the orderlies, but yeah, that was that dude. So they basically, she's trying to hide behind the table and shit, and he's like, again, my girl was like, yo, I'm getting like Walking Dead vibes right now, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what they want you to feel. They want you to feel that little nervous, that kind of terror feel to the episode, and I thought it was great, man, and basically, he makes a noise. The fucking creature does like this weird shit where he jumps on the bottom of the top part and he crawls up. It's mad creepy and shit.
Reminiscent of Brendan Fraser's The Mummy.
Exactly. A lot of Mummy feels here. Yeah. But I like the part where he's like, I squished it. But Layla like runs through. She ends up at a spot where she's kind of have to do that hug the wall thing. And that fucking creature is like,
on the other side.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same one or a different one that's trying to battle her. But it does a couple of jump scares where they're like the creature's grabbing them and shit, and then like she comes back out, grabs her again, and then all of a sudden they're battling out, and it looked like he was trying to stab him with the fucking with the bone in his arm. Yeah, and she does the infamous fucking throw you over. Hold on for dear life.
Right. Throw you over. You both go over, and somehow you manage to reach out and grab.
Yeah, man. I thought Frodo and Sam were gonna come out and say no, grab him and pull him up. But fucking Layla, the badass that she is, man, she just fucking yanks her ass up. Because again, this is really Layla's episode, and then of course, as soon as she gets up, she does like a little scream, and then of course, there's fucking Harrow at the end of the fucking hallway on the other side. Time to start spilling the shit. And of course, she looks like she's going to walk away for a second, but then he pulls her back. And then that's where we start talking about like her father and how basically he knows a lot of shit. And I think that's from him touching Mark or Steven, I guess. He saw all that stuff in the kid's and the guy's mind. So he kind of spills the beans on what Mark did, and Layla unfortunately kind of listens to him. And then Mark, on the other hand, or Steven, gets to the other side, and he actually finds the tomb and the sarcophagus. Yeah, he finds that shit.
The second, bro. The second that he said
Macedonia, right?
I knew it was Alexander.
Yeah, so they kind of rope in a little real life stuff with Alexander the Great, talking about how he thinks he was probably the avatar for Ammit, and basically tried to right. Am I getting this wrong? Did I interpret it wrong?
They said he was the last avatar.
Yeah, so he probably built the shrine to keep her in, and somebody buried. This is a good time to put this image up now since we have it. And this is what they put out.
Yeah, it's called a Ushepti.
The Ushepti of Ammit. So basically, they had her inside this guy's throat. So Steven's got to like go burying in to figure out where the fuck it is. It's in his throat.
Great.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Great. Sorry, Mr. Great. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of good parts in this episode. And then, of course, Layla comes in. She starts confronting him. And then she's like, I need to talk to Mark. And immediately he switches.
Yeah, I'm telling my wife during that whole scene, I'm like, I'm so fucking frustrated that this dude just won't give up the body. Like I dig Steven, and I know that he has his parts that he's like they need him for.
Yeah,
but it's so fucking frustrating, bro. Like, just give it up. Why are you like? It's widely understood now that he's the guy, that he's the historian. But when you're up against fucking monsters and guns, just give it back to Mark, bro. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so hard too. No, I completely agree, man. And basically ends up that they kind of don't get a chance to really talk about it. He kind of tells her like, look, the guy I was with double-crossed everybody, got greedy, and wanted to kill everybody, and he also shot me. And that's like
Bushman.
Yeah, and that's Bushman's whole story in the comic. But I think that's basically. I feel like they're going to eventually show that in the show. Maybe not. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just keep it moving because I guess you got the hint of it already. And then they end up. Then comes Harrow. Then comes the infamous part where he tries to tell him like, look, I'm not going to fucking stop. He pulls out the two fucking swords or hatchets, whatever. It starts bucking a couple of guys, and then pop. My man gets shot. Let's pull this up because this is a nice picture here. Let's put this up and see if he falls in. You see in the top right is where you kind of get that shot where it's like, oh, like he's like falling in or whatever. And then you're like, what the fuck is going on? Because then it jumps to the bottom right, bottom left image, and it's like a VHS video they're watching at this mental facility. So it kind of gives you that little twitch, like, what the fuck am I watching all of a sudden? What the hell has happened? So
then you hear the guy say, the guy calls him Dr. Stephen Grant, and you're like, oh, so maybe this is where this guy gets this whole persona.
Exactly. So again, like I was explaining to my wife, like Mark is the main persona. It's everybody else that are like the other people he actually made up in his mind or created. So Steven is obviously some projection of an old Tomb Raider or whatever they called him. What they called Tomb Buster?
Tomb Buster.
Yeah. So this is like that's where this personality comes from, even like the accent and stuff like that. So like, you go around. And then there was that little cameo again of your girl, the girl you knew. Did you notice she was one of the people there?
I didn't even notice in that.
Oh, yes, she's in that scene. Yeah, you had to go back and watch it because that lady from who played Layla's mom, I guess, she's one of the people like sitting down. They walk past her like real fast, so you kind of get a glimpse of everybody who he's come in contact with, like in the facility. Even the guy that I think that's like dressed up as a gold guy, who the street performer. That dude's one of the guys in there too. They're pushing the cupcakes around from the first episode, and then then they finally get to Steven, and Steven's like, "What the hell is going on?" So as he's like sitting in there, he's like looking around, and then all of a sudden, Layla comes up, and Layla, like, I don't know, they in when you're actually watching it with the subtitles, it says she's a nurse. But for me, the way she's acting, she doesn't come off like a nurse. She comes off
she looks like a
another
patient.
there, yeah, right.
Yeah.
She's eating the marshmallows that you saw her eat in that beginning part with her mom. That the mom gives her like a thing of marshmallows, whatever the hell it is, Turkish delight, whatever it is she's eating.
Yeah.
But that's like, and Mark starts realizing, oh, what the hell's going on? So then he ends up sitting with Harrow in the room, and Harrow starts telling him, like, oh, yeah. He starts trying to like diagnose him and see what's going on with it. Yeah, psychobabbling him. Yeah. And he finally like loses it. And he's like, you fucking shot me. You shot me.
Yeah.
Like he remembers what happened, kind of bugs out, crawls his ass out of there, fights a little bit somebody, and then ends up running through the halls where he sees one of the other damn, I can't say this word. Sarcophagus? God damn. Yeah. And he's like running around. Oh, that's sneak peek. Can't show you that. So he's running around, and he ends up finding a sarcophagus, and he opens it up, and it's fucking Steven inside. So that's the first time you kind of see both personas together. They hug each other, which is fucking ridiculous. And they end up running out. And did you notice there was another sarcophagus dancing around?
That never opened, yeah.
And never opened. I think that's something that they're probably going to dive into the next episode. But that's probably Jake Lockley, that other persona,
Could be.
And
whoever definitely it was that stabbed that guy on the fucking roof.
I think it's Jake. I think it's the other persona. This leads me to believe that even Mr. Knight is not going to be Steven. I think it's going to end up being another persona. I think they're going to lean hard. So as they're running around, the last thing you see, they open some door, and there's a fucking giant hippopotamus, and they scream and shit, and that's the end of the episode. So, I mean, I know
I'm not positive, but I think I'm not positive, but I think that might be that goddess of love and music character.
You think so? You think that's the same person?
I'm not sure. I'm just kind of throwing a guess, but I would guess. Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a pretty sick ending, to give a little, like, the last 10 minutes completely, what the hell is going on? Where are we? What's happening? Yeah. Definitely a perfect way. And I know, like, the people who get the shows early, who give, like, kind of their opinion of it, this is to the point where they saw. So everybody's now going to be kind of on the same level. Everybody who's going to be watching 5 and 6 have never seen any of the other episodes beforehand. Right. So everybody will be kind of getting the same vibe. But I could see where they were like, oh, man, this is sick the way they left it off. You guys don't know where it's going, because this was definitely a little mind twist at the end, right? Yeah.
I for an episode that didn't have, like, Moon Knight at all, it was just like when you sent me that message, like, yo, this was a banger. I was like, fuck. And I had people in my office. I'm like, yo, I'll be right back. I just started it so I could catch the rest of it on the ride. It was definitely a banger.
Dude, I almost made myself late to work to watch the episode, because I tried to watch it in the morning, and I was like falling asleep a little bit just because I was still so tired. Like, you know how I do. Sometimes I wake up 4:30, 5 o'clock just to watch the episode one time in the morning, because I'm impatient. Because I can't hate. I look at Twitter, I look at all this other shit, and I'm like, they're gonna spoil everything for me. So if I don't watch it early in the morning, this is where I envy Gio. He can stay up until midnight and watch it live, and then go to sleep. But I thought the episode was great. Like you said, no Moon Knight in it at all. But it delivered.
It didn't lack
at all. It was very much Layla's episode. She was definitely the dominant character. She shined in all of her scenes. A lot of like scary atmosphere points and jump scares and stuff like that, which I dig. I think it's really important. Marvel kind of leans into that, especially with like a Moon Knight. So I thought it was great. For me, I think it was a 10 out of 10 episode. I love the ending. I thought it was a great little twist. How do you feel?
Definitely 10 out of 10. I think I'm a point short of perfect for the whole show. Again, the only thing, like I said, the only thing that kind of misses is you miss that Moon Knight. You want to see more ass kicking from him, but
I think that's
action and story fill. Yeah, no, I'm positive. The last episode has got to be bananas, but in the spirit of like filling in the story and letting you know what's going on, this episode was perfect.
Hell yeah, I agree, man. I dug it so much. Yeah, really. I've always loved the Egyptian culture, And now that we're like in that realm now, and
Yo, now that you bring that up, this is something that you can like think of and let it bake your noodle a little later on.
mm-hmm.
Mark Spector is the first Marvel character to be openly Jewish.
Interesting.
Just think of like he's a Jewish dude working for an Egyptian god. Think about that shit.
That is interesting.
Yo,
I did not think about that.
Fucking slavery, and this guy is still a slave. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it's hard to say that this isn't the best show so far that they've put out on Disney Plus. To me, I still dig it. I still like Loki a lot, and I loved WandaVision. So
Yeah.
honestly, this is just up there, if not better than them. You know, I'm digging it. I really can't wait for the last 2 episodes. And because listen, the last episode we're gonna have to do on a Wednesday night because you and me got a date on Thursday, baby, with the doctor. All right, and the doctor's got a prescription we're gonna take the first night, baby. All right, and so. Man. You know, we're gonna talk about that pretty soon, guys. So just be ready for another video dropping really soon about Doctor Strange coming out soon. We got to talk about Thor. There's a lot of other stuff that we're gonna kind of mishmash into the next video because I want to talk about the Flash because the Flash movie's having a lot of hiccups right now. We're gonna have another discussion pretty soon about the Batman movie because I have a lot of different people who feel different ways. So I really want to sit down and kind of have a group discussion about it so I can get to the points where people like the most, hate the most, why they didn't like it, why they loved it, why they thought it was mediocre. So that's going to be coming real soon.
I got notes on that. I got notes on Batman.
Honestly, and if you haven't watched it a second time, it's on HBO Max. Definitely check it out. Terry's saying he loved the Batman. See, this is good. See, I got to get somebody. I know a couple of people disliked it. I don't know if they'll be able to talk about it. But anyway, we're going to put our boy Chris is going to be watching it tonight. So he's going to be the freshest of the Batman people. So hopefully when we can get all 4 people together, we sit down, we talk about it, and really dive into what they liked, what they didn't like. So, I mean, a couple of people tell me today they really disliked the Batman. And I thought, you know, again, I'm going to say my opinion because I want to wait for the video. But so we got a lot of stuff going on, man. It's not Moon Knight only. We got Moon Knight right now because this is our shit. So every week we keep pumping out another episode. But we only got 2 weeks left. And then we got the Doctor on the horizon. And then even Thor. So, Ed, any other final things about this episode you'd like to throw in?
No, man. I mean, if there are real fans out there, if you like, there's no better spot filler than to do some research, look into the character, look into the book, maybe even read a few of the books. I mean, at this point, it's tough you'll never catch up. But if you just fill in the gaps with reading into it, read some of even Wikipedia, I feel like it's not a bad resource. But anything you want to know about this character, about this guy, just read up on it, man. It just makes the show a little bit more fulfilling, in my opinion.
No, I hear that. I mean, to me, I knew very, very limited of Dark Knight, excuse me, of Moon Knight, but I really don't find it like anything. I'm loving their version of it. I'm loving everything that we're getting to see right now. So for me, they're hitting it out the park.
No, absolutely.
Character,
it's definitely a show. It's definitely a show where you don't have to. But I feel like if you're really into it and you want to know the character, and if you want to know what could potentially spin off from this guy, definitely just give it a glance. Sitting at your desk, read a little bit about it.
Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, there he is. What up, Timmy? How you doing? All right, guys. Thank you for watching, man. If you like Moon Knight, keep checking out my channel because we're gonna have more stuff. And tonight we got a lot of stuff pumping. We're probably going to be back in a little short. So check out the next video we got going. We're going to be talking Thor, Love and Thunder. That teaser trailer dropped today. So me and Ed got to talk about it. And later tonight, we going coast to coast, baby. If you want to talk about the Milan, come check us out. Eddie, always a pleasure, brother. Let's hit the music and let's do this, man. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Keep watching Moon Knight and check us out next week. Peace.